Queen Zalvira stood tall in the center of the grand hall. She was 8 feet of strength, beauty, and command. Her dark violet skin shimmered under the crystal lights, and her silver crown sparkled like a star. Around her, powerful alien leaders sat quietly. None dared to interrupt the queen. Then, the only human in the room stepped forward. He was not tall, not strong-looking. His armor was plain, his voice calm. His name was Ethan Graves, a peace ambassador from Earth. "I offer a union," Ethan said, standing straight. "A bond between our species, a breeding agreement." Gasps filled the hall. One alien dropped his drink. Another covered his mouth in shock. Queen Zalvira raised an eyebrow. She slowly walked down the steps of her throne, her long black cape trailing behind her. "You want what, human?" she said with a cold smile. Ethan didn't flinch. "Our DNA is compatible. My people believe we can create new life. A mix of both our kinds. A strong, united future." Zalvira looked him up and down like he was some strange insect. Then suddenly she laughed, loud, echoing. Her laugh bounced off the golden walls. "You?" she said, wiping a tear from her eye. "You think you can breed with a queen of Valthara? My people crush stars. Your people can't even survive without air." The council joined her in laughter. Some pointed at Ethan. Others whispered insults in their language. But Ethan stood still, calm, focused. "I'm not here to insult your power," he said softly. "I'm here to offer something new: peace, legacy, hope." Zalvira stepped closer. She bent down until her glowing eyes were level with his. "Leave my hall, human," she whispered, "before I decide to step on you." Ethan nodded slowly and turned to leave. The doors closed behind him with a heavy thud. The queen returned to her throne, but something felt odd. Her chest felt warm. Her stomach tightened for a moment. She brushed it off. "Just stress," she thought. That night, in her private chamber, Queen Zalvira stood in front of the mirror. Her hand rested on her stomach again. It was glowing faintly, just a soft pulse of light, like something inside her skin. She shook her head. "No, that's not possible." She called for the royal healer. An old alien woman entered, bowed deeply, and began the scan. After a long silence, the healer looked up with wide eyes. "My queen," she said slowly, "your body shows signs of activation." "Activation?" Zalvira narrowed her eyes. "Your system has begun the early phase of reproductive response, as if it has chosen a mate." Zalvira stood up sharply. "Impossible. I haven't touched anyone. Especially not the human." The healer backed away. "I don't understand it either. But something in your body has reacted to him, to his presence. It's rare. But it happens in ancient royal lines. A natural bond, pure instinct." Zalvira dismissed her and stood alone in the room, shaking. "This cannot be," she whispered. She sat down and took a deep breath. Her body was warm again. Her heart beat faster than normal. Images of Ethan flashed in her mind, his steady voice, his calm eyes, his bravery, even when she mocked him. "No," she said out loud, clenching her fists. "He's weak, he's a human." But inside her, something else whispered. "He didn't run. He didn't fear you. He offered you legacy." She looked down. Her stomach pulsed again gently, almost lovingly. Was her body betraying her? She tried to sleep, but her dreams were filled with strange images. A baby, glowing skin. 2 hands, one large violet royal. One small human, warm. In the dream, she held them both. She woke up in sweat, gasping, heart racing. She touched her stomach again. It was warmer now. "This is not happening," she whispered. But deep inside, she knew the truth. Something had already begun. Queen Zalvira never stumbled, never slowed, never showed weakness. But today, she almost fell. As she walked into the grand chamber, her vision blurred for a second. Her steps felt heavier. She placed one hand on the wall, quickly hoping no one noticed. But someone did. Ethan. Graves stood at the far end of the room, quietly observing. He saw her pause, saw the slight shake in her fingers. The proud queen, something was wrong. She continued walking, tall and unbending, taking her seat on the high throne. The meeting began. Boring reports, trade numbers, border issues. But Zalvera's thoughts were not on war or politics. Her body felt unfamiliar. Her heartbeat was louder. Her skin felt warm. Her stomach. Was it swelling? Queen Zalvera? A counselor called out. She blinked. What? You didn't respond to the proposal. She narrowed her eyes. Repeat it. As the alien spoke again, Ethan slowly stepped closer to her side. Not too close. Just enough. He whispered. Are you okay? She didn't look at him. Do not speak to me in court, human. But her voice lacked the sharpness it once had. After the meeting, she returned to her private chamber. Her guard closed. The doors behind her. She took off her heavy armor piece by piece. Her reflection in the mirror made her freeze. Her stomach was glowing again. Slightly more than yesterday. No, she muttered. She rushed to the medical room and ordered the Royal AI to scan her body. Scan in progress. Her breath caught in her throat. Hormonal levels rising. Cell structure adapting. Royal DNA reacting to foreign presence. Possible cause. Hybrid gestation to 8.3% confirmed. No, I did not mate with anyone. But her body didn't care. The reaction had already begun. Suddenly, a knock. She turned sharply. Enter. It was Ethan. I told you not to speak to me, she snapped. You're not well, he said softly. I can see it. I'm not your enemy. She turned away. Leave, now. But Ethan didn't move. Something happened, didn't it? Zalvera clenched her jaw. She could destroy him with one blow, but something inside her didn't want to. You said our DNA is compatible, she whispered without turning. Is it possible your presence alone could trigger a bond? Ethan hesitated. In some Earth species, yes. Insects, some fish, pheromones, proximity, signals. But with us, I didn't think it was real. Zalvera slowly turned to face him, then explained this. She placed his hand gently, without warning, on her stomach. He gasped. It's warm, alive. I don't know what it is, she said, almost in pain. But my body has changed. Since you arrived. Ethan looked into her eyes. Then we need to figure this out, together. She pulled back, suddenly angry. Do not think this makes us mates, human. I don't, Ethan said calmly. But I won't walk away, not if you're in danger. She stared at him, confused. He wasn't trying to use her. He wasn't mocking her. He wasn't afraid. And for the first time in years, she didn't feel alone. But her silence was broken by a loud alarm. Security alert. Queen's life signs unstable. Zalvera collapsed to one knee. Ethan rushed forward and caught her before she hit the ground. You need help, he shouted. Her breath was shallow. Don't let them see me like this. He lifted her in his arms. She was twice his size, but his strength surprised even her. He carried her to the medical pod, laid her down gently. The AI began emergency healing. Ethan stepped back, heart racing. Why is this happening? He whispered. And behind him, a soft voice replied. She is no longer just a queen, the AI said. She is becoming a mother. The queen woke up to silence, but something had changed. Queen Zalvera slowly opened her eyes inside the healing pod. Soft lights glowed above her, and the gentle hum of machines surrounded her like a soft blanket. But her body no longer felt like her own. She sat up, her muscles stiff, her breath shaky. She touched her stomach again. The warmth was still there, but now it pulsed like a heartbeat, but it wasn't her own. A knock echoed at the chamber door. The queen didn't answer. The door slid open anyway, and an old figure walked in slowly, cloaked in blue and silver robes, the royal healer. "Hi." Healer Mira, one of the oldest and wisest of the Valtharan race. She bowed low. "My queen, I came as soon as I felt the energy shift." Zalvera looked at her with tired, burning eyes. "Tell me what's happening. All of it. No more guessing." Healer Myra approached carefully. She opened a thin, ancient device, one not used in centuries. It scanned not just biology, but ancestral energy. She held it over the queen's glowing stomach. There was silence. Then, a soft sound, a second heartbeat. Mira froze. Zalvera narrowed her eyes. "Speak." The healer's voice trembled. "Your body has accepted the human." "What?" The bonding happened without touch. A rare, ancient response. Some queens of the past, their bloodline was so pure, so powerful, that their bodies chose a mate on instinct alone. Zalvera stepped back. "That's myth. It is real, my queen, and you are no longer alone inside your body." Zalvera's lips parted slightly. "You mean?" Healer Myra slowly knelt before her. "You carry life." Zalvera turned away, gripping the wall. "I didn't allow this. I didn't choose him. But your body did," the healer said gently. "The blood of the first mother flows in you. It cannot be commanded." The queen's mind raced. She remembered the human's calm face, his quiet strength. The way he looked at her, not with fear, but with respect. No, this was a trick, a mistake, a curse. She turned sharply. "End it, now." Mira looked up in shock. "End it? I won't. Carry a hybrid. I won't be mocked by my people. I am the queen, not a host for his child." Mira stood slowly. "With respect, this is not just any child. The energy I felt. It's strong. Too strong for a normal mix. This child could become something new." Zalvera shouted, "Enough!" The lights in the room flickered from her anger. The walls vibrated slightly, but Myra didn't back away. She placed a hand over the queen's stomach, gently. "Listen." Zalvera's breath caught. The second heartbeat was clear, soft, alive, real. Something inside her chest shifted. For a moment, just one moment, she didn't feel anger. She felt fear. And underneath it, a strange, quiet hope. But before she could say anything, the chamber door opened again. Ethan stood there. He froze when he saw Zalvera's expression, and the healer's hand on her glowing stomach. "What's going on?" he asked. Zalvera's voice was cold. "Leave." Ethan stepped forward. "You're in pain, I know, but I have a right to know if I said leave." But then the healer turned and said something Ethan didn't expect. "She carries your child." Ethan's world stopped. His mouth opened slightly, but no words came out. Zalvera turned away, ashamed, furious, confused. "It wasn't your doing. It was something in my blood, some old curse." But Ethan didn't laugh. He didn't smile. He knelt down quietly, respectfully. "I never wanted to hurt you. I never expected this," he said. "But if it's true, I will protect you, both of you." Zalvera's fists tightened. She hated this. She hated feeling this. But she also remembered one thing the healer just whispered moments ago. This child could be the future of two worlds. The Great Council had never been this quiet. 12 alien leaders sat around the glowing circle table, horned, scaled, armored, feathered, each one powerful in their own world. Each one staring at the queen's empty throne. Zalvera was late. She was never late. Finally, the heavy doors opened. Queen Zalvera walked in, tall and proud. But her steps were slower. Her cloak didn't flow like before. Her eyes held something new behind the fire, and walking beside her was a human. Ethan Graves. The room exploded in whispers. She brought him here? She dares walk beside a human after what we heard. She's hiding something. Zalvera took her seat silently. Ethan stood behind her, arms crossed. High Counselor Roth stood up, his 3 eyes glowing red. "Queen Zalvera," he began, "we received a medical signal from your palace. Something about a hybrid pregnancy." Gasps filled the room. Roth's voice grew sharper. "Is it true? You carry a human's child?" Zalvera didn't blink. "Yes." The room erupted in rage. "She's lost her mind. This is a disgrace. She must step down immediately." Ethan stepped forward. "Enough." All eyes turned to him. "You don't understand what this means," Ethan said, calm but firm. "This child could be the first of something new, a bridge between your kind and mine." Roth slammed his hand on the table. "Silence, human. You are not part of this council." Zalvera stood slowly. "He is now." "Then you have betrayed your duty as queen," another counselor growled. Zalvera's voice was cold. "Do not speak of duty to me. I've led armies. I've won wars you all ran from. And now, for the first time, I carry something more powerful than a weapon, a future." But Roth was not finished. "You are no longer fit to rule," he said. "Your judgment is compromised. We will vote now on your removal." The chamber darkened. A red light glowed above the table. The vote began. One by one, hands were raised. 1, 2, 5, 8. Zal. Singled Vera stayed still. Her chest burned, but not from fear, from rage, and then Ethan stepped into the center of the chamber. "No," he said. Mr. Oti hissed. "You are not allowed." "I am now," Ethan interrupted. "I may not be one of you, but I come from a world that doesn't turn on its leaders when they choose hope over fear." He pointed at Zalvera. "She has risked her life for you all, fought for your borders, bled for your peace. And now, when she dares to carry life, you call her unfit?" No one spoke. Ethan's voice softened. "This child is not weakness, it's change. And change scares you." He looked each counselor in the eye. "But change is coming, whether you vote for it or not." Silence. Then one of the oldest counselors lowered his hand. Then another, and another. Roth's eyes widened. "No, you can't." But the light faded. The vote had failed. Zalvera was still queen. She looked at Ethan, her face unreadable. Later, in the hallway, she said nothing for a long time. Finally, she asked, "Why did you speak for me?" Ethan looked at her and replied, "Because no one should stand alone when they're carrying the future." Zalvera stared at him for a long moment. Then she whispered something, almost too soft to hear. "Thank you." But far above them, in a dark chamber of stars, another council was watching, and they did not want this child to be born. The attack came in the dead of night. No warning, no message, no mercy. A silent ship, black as space, broke through the Queen's sky shield. It dropped 3 pods onto the palace roof, each carrying shadow soldiers from the outlawed race known as the Drexari. They were silent assassins, trained not to kill leaders, but to erase legacies, and tonight their mission was simple: kill the unborn hybrid child of Queen Zalvera. Down below, in her private chamber, the Queen slept restlessly. Her hand rested on her glowing stomach, her mind filled with flashes, dreams of war, and a child with silver eyes. Suddenly, her eyes flew open. Something was wrong, not with her body, but with the air. She stood quickly. "Guards!" she called. Out. Silence. She opened her chamber doors and saw 2 guards lying unconscious on the floor. Her breath caught. "No." She turned around. A Drexari was already in her room, black armor, no face, a curved blade in hand. Zalvera summoned her energy, her palm glowing, but her stomach ached, her body slowed. She couldn't risk using full power. She dodged just in time. The blade slicing the air where her neck had been. Another attacker crashed through the window. 2-on-1. And she was weakened. She fought anyway, like a storm. even wounded. She was still Queen Zalvera, but she stumbled. One Drexari struck her shoulder. Blood hit the floor. She dropped to one knee, panting. The second assassin raised his blade, aimed. Not at her, but her stomach. Suddenly, boom. The wall exploded inward. Ethan Graves stood in the smoke, rifle in hand, fire in his eyes. He opened fire, forcing both Drexari to take cover. He ran to Zalvera and pulled her to her feet. "You're bleeding," he said. She growled. "So are they." The two stood back to dash back. Another Drexari dropped from the ceiling. Zla. Vera's energy blasted upward, throwing the attacker into the wall. Ethan fired again, clean shots. Quick aim, no hesitation. Together, they were more than warriors. They were protecting something that had never existed before. A future, when the fight ended. The last Drexari fell to the floor, unmoving. Zalvera collapsed against the wall, holding her stomach. Ethan knelt beside her, face full of worry. "You okay?" She nodded weakly. "The child is safe." Medical bots rushed in. The alarms blared late. Too late. The royal security had been disabled from the inside. Hours later, in a hidden chamber deep under the palace, Zalvera sat before the High Healer again. The healer shook her head. "You cannot stay here anymore. There will be more attacks. The child is a threat to those who fear change." Zalvera asked, "Then where can we go?" A new voice answered from the shadows. "My ship." It was Ethan. Zao, single quotes. Vera turned. "You would hide me? A queen?" He nodded. "You saved your people more times than they know. Now let someone save you." She hesitated. Then, for the first time, she placed her hand in his. No words. Just trust. As they prepared to leave the planet, Zalvera looked out over the palace. Her home, her throne, her war-forged walls. She turned away from it all, not in defeat, but to protect the one thing no enemy could ever touch again, her unborn child. But above them, far beyond the stars, the true enemy was watching now, and they had just activated a much darker weapon. The stars outside the ship window looked calm, but inside the medbay, chaos was growing. Queen Zalvera was lying on the medical bed, soaked in sweat, her hands gripping the sides like steel claws. Her skin was glowing brighter than ever, pulsing, flickering like a star ready to explode. "Something's wrong," she shouted, teeth clenched. Ethan stood beside her, panic on his face. "The AI said it's too early." The healer's voice came through the coms. "The child is ready, but her body is not. Her blood isn't meant to give birth to something this mixed." Zalvera gasped. "I can feel it, the energy. It's tearing me apart." The ship's medical systems beeped faster. The pod couldn't stabilize her. Her heart rate was spiking. The energy field around her stomach was flaring wildly. "She's going into collapse," the AI warned. "Vital systems are failing." Ethan looked at the screen. He saw 2 heartbeats. 1 weak, one getting stronger. He turned to the AI. "What can we do?" "There's only one solution," it replied. "She must be bonded directly to you." "What does that mean?" "A full energy link. Your DNA, your life force, must connect with hers. It's the only way to balance the hybrid child's birth energy." Ethan stepped back. I don't know how. There's no time." Zalvera screamed, "If you don't do it, we both die." Ethan grabbed her hand. "Tell me what to do." "Place your hand on my chest," the AI instructed, "and speak the bond phrase." "What phrase?" Zalvera opened her eyes, glowing with pain. She whispered, "Say, I give you my strength, my breath, my fire, until the stars go dark." Ethan looked down at her, heart pounding. He placed his hand on her chest. And he spoke, "I give you my strength, my breath, my fire, until the stars go dark." Suddenly, a blinding flash. Zalvera screamed, not in pain, but in release. Their bodies lit up. Energy flowed from Ethan. Into her, through her, around the child inside. The lights in the medbay flickered. The ship shook. Ethan felt his knees weaken, but he didn't let go. He saw flashes, memories not his own, Zalvera's battles, her coronation, her loneliness. Then he saw the child floating in light. Small, glowing dot, it reached toward him, and everything went dark. He woke up on the floor, his head pounding, his chest aching. He looked up. Zalvera was still. Eyes closed, then movement, the sound of a soft cry. He crawled toward the med bed, and there, wrapped in a glowing cloth of energy, was a child. Small but radiant, skin of soft violet, eyes of silver and blue, a quiet strength in its tiny face. Ethan's breath caught. She did it. Zalvera opened her eyes slowly. Her voice was weak but clear. He is beautiful. Ethan smiled through tears. He has your fire. She turned to him, and your heart. They sat in silence, staring at the child. But the peace did not last long. The ship's eye spoke once more. Warning. Incoming signal. Multiple warships approaching. Identity unknown. Zalvera held the baby closer. They found us, Ethan stood. Then let them come. He picked up a plasma rifle and walked to the window, body still shaking, but full of fire. Because now, they weren't just protecting the Queen. They were protecting the future of two worlds. The warships came with no warning. Black hulls. Blood red. Symbols. Weapons hot and locked. Ethan stood at the front of the ship, staring at the incoming fleet. His grip on the plasma rifle was tight, but his mind was clear. Behind him, Queen Zalvera sat on the medbed, holding the newborn in her arms. Her body was weak, her strength drained, but her spirit? Unbreakable. Do not fight them alone, she said. Ethan didn't turn. I'm not. The baby opened its eyes, silver and glowing. The ship's lights dimmed for a moment. The AI's voice trembled for the first time, power levels rising. From the infant, then silence. From the enemy fleet, nothing. No fire. No commands. No movement. Zalvera stood, using the wall for support. They are afraid. Ethan turned. Why? She looked down at her child. Because they feel him. Across the stars, in a dozen systems, sensitive scanners began to flash red. Unknown. Energy signature. Unmatched DNA. Unstoppable. Potential. The child's presence was already changing the field around them. Warships began to retreat, not from weapons, but from something greater. A signal pulsed outward from the ship, uncontrolled, natural. It wasn't just noise. It was a call. A signal of life, peace, and power. And the galaxy answered. Back on the home planet, the same council that once tried to remove Zalvera was now silent again. High Counselor Mroth stared at the data on his screen. This child's power. It's beyond any living being. He looked up at the others. If we reject them now, we may be throwing away the next age of our people. One by one, the council members stood. Not in protest, but in respect. In deep space, Ethan held the child gently for the first time. The boy looked at him, calm, almost aware. Zalvera watched, her face softer than ever. He chose you, she said. Ethan smiled. He chose us. The AI spoke again. Incoming transmission from the Galactic Union. Ethan pressed the button. A voice filled the room. We have received your signal. We are ready to talk. About peace, about a future, about the child. Zalvera looked at Ethan. They're not just coming for war anymore. They're coming to learn, he said. And at that moment, the three of them stood together. A queen, a human, and the first child of both worlds. Years later, statues would be built, songs would be sung. Some would say it was love. Others would say it was destiny. But the truth was simple, that it all started with a laugh and ended with a legend.